Hi guys, my name is Teresa from the blog and YouTube channel freetoflower.com, and today I am so glad to finally be giving you a tour of my garden. So welcome. We are at pretty height of summer, I would say, or maybe just starting to climb up towards the height of summer. So everything is up and growing. We are starting to have vegetables and other fun things that I'm just dying to show you today. So let's take a look. Come along. So before we get going on the full tour, let me just preface this a little bit by saying that number one, I am new to gardening. I am not an expert gardener. This is not something I've been doing for a long time, unlike a lot of the other things we do at the homestead that we've been doing for a much longer time. We are relatively new to gardening, and on top of that, we started a brand new project this year, which is converting our garden into a permaculture garden. Once again, we're very new to permaculture gardening, and so today I'm going to take you on a very candid tour of our garden. I'm going to show you where we're at year one of permaculture gardening, what things are working really well and what things are not working out so great, what lessons we're learning, and what successes we're celebrating. So if you are a beginner gardener yourself, don't be intimidated. I know sometimes I watch YouTubers who've been doing whatever it is I'm watching for a really long time, and their level of knowledge is so high that they are able to give me so many details on what it is that I'm trying to do. In some cases, I get extremely overwhelmed because I am a beginner in some areas, of course, and I cannot even comprehend all the details that they're trying to tell me about what to do. So this is not that kind of video. This is a very candid, come take a look at where we're at during our first season of permaculture gardening. Tour the garden with me, and let's see what we can learn together. Let's start with some successes and some not so much successes. So one new thing that we have tried this year is co-planting, planting different plants together in the same raised beds or in the same area so that they can benefit each other. Now, we followed a plan that our permaculture garden designer made for us, and since we were completely new to this and we were not entirely sure how to get going. And here are the things that worked and the things that did not work so well. So we did onions and carrots together. This did not work for us at all. I'm not sure if our onions were maybe a little bit too thickly planted and the carrots didn't have enough space, but we had almost no carrots come out of that combination. So next time, probably won't be doing that. We will also be planting a lot more onion since we love onions in this house and use a lot of them. Next, amaranth and sunflowers. This combination did not work so great either, because those are both very tall plants. If you're not familiar with amaranth, it's the really tall red plant that you can see behind me right now. We found that the sunflowers were really squished and did not have enough sunlight. On the other hand, though, amaranth and beans, green beans, did really well. That was an awesome combination and a great success, and something that we will be planting again together if we choose to plant amaranth again. Lastly, potatoes and peas. You saw that earlier. This was not a success either. The peas, for some reason, was really stifled out, and that just did not work for us so great. Apart from amaranth and beans and corn worked really well too. The only piece of advice I would have there is plant your corn first, and then only a couple of weeks later plant your beans. Beans grow a lot faster than corn, and your corn stalk really needs to be pretty solid before the beans can wrap around it and grow up. Another great success was broccoli and beets. Those did great. You saw me looking at them in the video just a little bit earlier. We will definitely be repeating that. In general, our other successes. Amaranth did amazingly. We got really beautiful tall flowers that you can see in the background just a minute ago over there. We did not actually know that you can eat all the leaves. I know this is kind of silly, but like I said, we're really new to some of these plants, so we didn't actually do that, but we did harvest amaranth seeds, and we have quite a lot of our own homegrown amaranth now, amaranth seeds I should say. So if you would like to see me doing that, I will link that video in the description box below. That was a great success. Another one, our strawberry patch, which you saw earlier, it looked so terrible at the start of the season. I was really not convinced that we were going to have that many strawberries, but I will say it's improved so much, and we've had quite a few. Although the kids always just end up eating them, I don't think I've brought that many strawberries into the house ever. Eggplants that you see me harvesting here right now, we had so many eggplants. We had more eggplants than we would like to have, in fact. So that was a smashing success. I will be planting less eggplants next year. We were not able to keep up. We just kept on harvesting them over and over. It was a little bit excessive. Peppers, another great success. We planted jalapeno peppers for the first time this year, of all sorts of different colors, and those were amazing. We got so many of them, and in fact, me and my husband were fermenting some just the other week. I will link that video in the description box below. This year has not been so great for squash or cucumbers. I think next year I'm going to try to put the cucumbers in the greenhouse so that we can have some more. But even squash that we always grow outside and have an abundance of has not been crazy this year. We've had some okay squash, but not as many as we usually have. Beans, green beans, and broad beans. We've had so many. This has been our first year growing beans, believe it or not. It's not a very common crop here in the Czech Republic, and we've had a huge abundance of green beans. My husband loves them, so that was a very welcome thing. We preserved most of them and cooked a lot of them with our meats. Onions, even though the co-planting with carrots didn't work and we don't actually have any carrots, the onions themselves did great, and we have a bunch. We weaved them together, or like braided them together into a beautiful braid that's hanging in our patio. I'm going to try and get some footage of that and maybe show you in the future. Like I said, we will be planting more next year though. Potatoes, I would say, were a medium success. As you saw earlier, we got some potatoes, but not as many as I had hoped. We will plant a larger patch next year and focus on better plans to co-plant with our potatoes to keep the pests away. Potatoes were really the main crop that were hit by some pests. We are also pretty big, unfortunately, on slugs in this area, but I've developed a really neat trick on how to beat slugs about midway through the real issue. I will link that in the description box below. I wrote a whole blog post about it because I think everybody needs to know how to get rid of slugs if they are destroying your harvest. It's so simple. Broccoli has hands down been our biggest surprise of the year. In fact, most people told us that we would not be able to grow broccoli here in this zone, that it's not going to work out, and it worked out beautifully. We've had probably 10 or 12 heads of broccoli, and we cut them off, and so the broccoli plants continue to sprout more, which has been so nice. So we can just hop out and get a few broccolis right before dinner, and we continue to do that all throughout the season. So that's been really great. Beets have also done great. We don't have that many of them, but they are huge, so I think those are pretty abundant. Lastly, our huge surprise of the year has been watermelons. Once again, our zone is really not that great for watermelons, and we have 3 or 4, I believe, pretty large, beautiful watermelons that we're about to harvest now, and that is something that I never thought would work out. I just kind of tried it on a whim, and it ended up working out, which I'm so glad. I can't wait to serve some homegrown watermelon to my kids. And of course, tomatoes. Tomatoes were I would say a middle. They fall somewhere in the middle. We've had so many cherry tomatoes, but I didn't actually plant only cherry tomatoes. I don't know if this has happened to anybody else. I planted a variety of tomatoes, and we only got those big yellow ones that you see in the shot above. Those were great, but those were the only big ones we got. Everything else was cherry tomatoes. And don't get me wrong, we love our cherry tomatoes, but we were also hoping for some large ones. So I don't know if I accidentally brought the wrong seeds or if they just got pushed out with all the cherry tomatoes. But next year I will be keeping a closer eye on that. Well, with every harvest comes a lot of work in the kitchen, and while this is a harvest video, and I will have a whole nother video coming up on how we're preserving our harvest, specifically tomatoes and all other vegetable varieties, I did want to quickly show you how I'm preserving green beans this year. I was considering canning them. I do can a bunch of other stuff, but I decided to just go with the easiest route, which is freezing. I don't typically like freezing a lot of stuff. Freezer space is really limited for us, and sometimes I don't like the taste of defrosted produce. But let me tell you, beans and green beans and broad beans both worked out wonderfully. There is a little bit of legwork, obviously, with meticulously chopping off all the ends and cutting them into bite-sized pieces, but they froze beautifully. They are so delicious and crisp even when defrosted, and they don't actually take up that much space when they're cut up. So if you have an abundant harvest of green beans and other beans, I 100% recommend the freezing route. Thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, my name is Teresa from the blog and YouTube channel freetoflower.com, where I share our simple life on our European farm, homesteading how-tos, and cooking from scratch. Till next week.